No, it's not a normal year, and you didn't need me to tell you that, did you? But just because it's not the way we normally do things doesn't mean everything has to be completely different. Jim Dougherty is with us. The Northern Appalachian Folk Festival is a wonderful event we get to celebrate every year at this time. Jim, good morning.
Hello, Todd.
It's good to have you with us. Our conversation brought to you by Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. Sadly, the festival won't be held this year, but it doesn't mean everything is off, does it?
That's correct. And this is our 7th year of having the folk festival, although we just have one element that we're going to present to the public. It's also the 4th year of what I'm going to be talking about today, our Walk of Fame. And yes, you should tell Josh that he will not have the opportunity to defend his crown as being the first place winner of our Storytelling Liars contest, because that's been canceled.
Well, see, I've always told him that's not exactly the kind of honor you want if you're a news guy.
That's correct.
So that won't be happening, but the Walk of Fame will.
Yeah, the Walk of Fame. The theme of our folk festival is the Year of the Woman, celebrating the 100th anniversary of women's right to vote. So we're inducting 6 women in our Walk of Fame. Now, the reason why we started the Walk of Fame, at some point during one of our committee meetings, someone said, they have the Indiana County Sports Hall of Fame, they have the Business Hall of Fame, but we don't have anything for the arts and the humanities. Nothing. And a second thing is that our folk festival isn't really Indiana County focused.
Mm-hmm.
It's focusing on the Northern Appalachian region. And the Northern Appalachian region includes 52 counties of the 67 counties. And if you were to look at the square mileage of those 52 counties, there are more counties per square mile in our state than the whole state of West Virginia.
Wow.
And this area has been proclaimed as part of the Appalachian region. Mm-hmm. I can remember when I was going to college at Clarion, a professor asked me where I was from. And I said, I'm from Clearfield County. And he said, you're from Appalachia. And I said, I'm not from Appalachia. And he pulled out a map. And lo and behold, I am a native of Northern Appalachia.
There you go. Yeah. And Appalachia, for those who don't know, is not a county in Pennsylvania. It's not one of the 67 counties. It's a multi-state thing.
Right. It's a region, exactly. And it extends into the southern tier of New York State and the whole way down to northern Georgia, right along the Appalachian mountain range. We know about the Appalachian Trail. That's one way of thinking about it.
So how does the Walk of Fame work this year?
Okay. The Walk of Fame, we emphasize a number of different categories. One is focusing on the environment, another, the arts, a third is sports, a fourth is human rights, a fifth is education, and the sixth one we just added this year, public health.
Timely.
And the people that we're inducting, it's really a good lineup. The first that Indiana County is well aware of is Lucy Ray Donnelly.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to be inducted under the category of education. After her, we have Abby Morris. Abby was a co-founder of the Indiana Players, and she's going to be inducted under the category of the arts. Then we have Peggy Clark, who is very active in the League of Women Voters of Indiana County, and her focus was on the environment, and so she's going to be inducted under the environment category. Another one is Marilyn McCuskey. She's going under the category of human rights, and she has a very, very interesting story. She was the first woman coal miner killed in a mining accident in 1997 in a mine called the Rushton Mine, which is in Indiana County. It's near Coalport.
Yeah.
And that's a huge story. She had to fight and take her case to the courts, and she filed a gender discrimination case against the Rushton Coal Company, and she won, and she became one of the first, well, she was the first woman underground coal miner, and unfortunately she was killed during a cave-in in that mine.
Yeah.
So that's a huge story. And then, of course, we have one of our own from Ernest, PA, Bernice Guerra. She was the first woman umpire, for professional baseball. Mm-hmm. And we're going to be inducting her under the category of sports. And finally, for public health, we're inducting Dr. Rachel Levine.
Pennsylvania's Department of Health Secretary.
That's correct,
uh-huh.
Yes.
All right, so that is a tremendous lineup. Is there a specific public event planned, or how does it occur?
Yes. It's going to occur on Saturday at noon in front of Spaghetti Benders. And, again, this is our fourth year. And the itinerary is that we will have people that will give a basic overview of each of the inductees, and then we have a certificate that we will give to a representative of that inductee. And then the third part of it is we have bricks with their names, on the bricks, and then we will install the bricks in the sidewalk. Mm-hmm. If you can go down to Spaghetti Benders, you can see what we have right now.
Previous
so we're
inductees.
Putting 6 in, and that will bring us up to a total of 20.
Yeah. So the previous inductees, their bricks are already installed. We're going to put in 6 more.
Yes, that's correct. Mm-hmm.
All right. So and folks can come on Saturday.
And we have some big name people in there, including Rachel Carson, the author of the famous book Silent Spring. Mm-hmm. That spawned the modern environmental movement. We even have Andy Warhol in there. Some people might say, what in the world is Andy Warhol doing in there? As it turns out, Andy Warhol's dad was a coal miner.
Yeah.
And he died at a young age. He was only in his early 40s when he died. Mm-hmm. So Andy is an Appalachian.
How about that?
Those from New York don't like to say that, but he is.
Yeah.
And he's buried in the South Hills.
Yeah, all you really need to do is go to Pittsburgh to find his influence. My goodness.
Right.
The Andy Warhol Museum's an amazing place. Yeah.
Right.
So Saturday, folks can attend and wear their masks and
that's correct.
Enjoy the ceremony.
And social distancing, right.
Mm-hmm. All right. Anything else going on with the folk festival that obviously you're already planning for next year and hoping things are straightened out by then, but anything else for this year that we need to know about?
That's it for this year. We were planning on having a film called The Vote that had been shown on PBS, and it was a historical documentary of the women's suffrage movement. Uh-huh. And unfortunately, we were not able to present that. We wanted to present that in Memorial Park, and we couldn't put it together.
All right, couldn't work that one out. But you are planning for next year's, and
yes. And just to give you who we are thinking of for our Walk of Fame next year, we're thinking for the environment, Governor Pinchot, who is governor of Pennsylvania. In the 1930s, he was responsible for the creation of our state parks back in those days, and also the state forest. For the arts, we're hoping to induct Hiram Walker, of Hiram, and the
Sure.
famous guitarist, musician. For sports, we hope to induct Carlton Hasserig, the only six-time NCAA heavyweight wrestling champion. For human rights, we're hoping to have Molly Rush. She's from Pittsburgh. She founded the Thomas Merton Center, which is a Center for Peace and Justice. For education, we're hoping to induct Paul Fuller, an unknown name among the general population, but among the United Mine Worker circles, he is a big name. He was actively involved in educational efforts in the 1920s in District 2 of the United Mine Workers. And for public health, we want to induct Dr. Salk, the founder of the polio vaccine.
Yeah. So that's next year. That's
next year.
We've still got this year's to go through, and folks can celebrate those names, those folks, on Saturday. What time again, Jim?
It's at noon in front of Spaghetti Benders
in downtown Indiana. Beautiful. All right. Meantime, folks can check your Facebook page, your website, yes?
Yes. Our website is NAFFINC.org.
Okay. Very good. I appreciate your spending some time with us. It's sad that we can't have the Northern Appalachian Folk Festival this year, but it's good that the tradition will go on next year, and that even this year we can get a little flavor of it, a little taste of it.
We'll get a little of it, and I also I'm very sad about all the other events that had to be canceled as well.
Yeah,
it's a real blow to the organizers of all those events, and for us as well, the musicians, the artists, the general public. It's a sad day for us.
We will have our revenge on 2020, and we'll have it by telling it to just go away. Jim, thanks.
Okay.
Thanks for being with us
Todd.
this morning.
I'll talk to you. Bye.
All right. Have a great one. Bye-bye. It is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS 101.1 FM and AM 1160 and AM 1160.